Hi, everybody. In a previous episode, we critiqued Frenzy, and I wanted to talk about the difficulties of writing your alcoholic protagonist. There's definitely a lot of challenges. And then here with this movie, Steve Buscemi, which is his only movie that written and directed, at the core of it, he is using, including with himself, an alcoholic protagonist, but I think he does it the most effective way. This is the most effective way to use an alcoholic protagonist in your movie.
Yep, and we're going to break down exactly why that works in this film when I don't think, even though I liked Frenzy quite a bit, even though I don't think it worked as well as Frenzy, there's a significant, and there's one main thing that separates what Frenzy does from what Trees Lounge does.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Trees Lounge today, which was Steve Buscemi's directorial debut, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
His first film as a
I
director.
think this is one and only.
Well, he's done some more since then. I've just never heard of any of them. So he's also directed a lot of the shows he's worked on too. He's worked on like the
Boardwalk
background
Empire?
directing. I think he did one or two of those. I know he does his Miracle Workers show with Daniel Radcliffe. He directed a couple of those episodes as well. So he's been quietly directing some solid work for decades now. But this is his beginning to that.
Yes.
Bringing in a lot of elements from Quentin Tarantino and his also his time.
Yeah, we'll
period
get
acting
into that,
too.
right,
So
yeah.
join us for Trees Lounge. Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm one of your hosts, Kyle Goethe from GoatFilmReviews.com.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nick from the St. Paul Filmcast. Thanks for finding us. Thanks for watching. And for loyal fans, and sincerely, thank you for continuing to support the show. You can follow the show on Twitter and on Instagram. Both Kyle and I are members of the Minnesota Film Critics Alliance. Check out that webpage for other critics' reviews as well as ours. And today we're going to talk about Steve Buscemi's first directed film from 1997, or I think
96?
96.
Somewhere around
It
there?
came out before Fargo, but it was available for rental after Fargo. It is Trees Lounge.
All right. So Tommy, a jobless drunk, spends his nights at the Trees Lounge, wasting his time away at the bar. Those around him are moving forward, but Tommy's standing still. But don't worry, he's going to quit drinking eventually.
All right, so like Roger Ebert says, with alcoholics, it's always scenarios and little things have to happen for me to stop drinking. If the world just quit messing with me, then I can focus on stop drinking.
Yep.
Maybe if my girlfriend will come back to me and I'll raise a kid, I'll stop drinking. Maybe if they give me a job and I'll work, I'll stop drinking. They'll never think of stop drinking first. And that is a great pivotal point of this movie. And I think Steve Buscemi does an effective use of with alcoholic protagonists. It's not depressing at all times. It's not, glamorous at all times, but it's fun sometimes and it's enjoyable. But at the core is alcoholism without showing alcoholism all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think, but they are showing it all the time because he has a drink in his hand the entire
What I'm saying
film.
is not the time all the time at the bar.
Yeah, the
How
camera's not rack focusing in on the booze
like
every time.
Scorsese does in Mean Streets, where at the bar it is good times and everything like
Yeah,
that.
because Scorsese does that and he does it well. He gets his Rolling Stones and he's like, make sure you see every drink they put down. Steve Buscemi is going a little bit subtler here, and for better and worse, I think, because I do think that this film, we'll get into all the bits and pieces of it. I do think that my major flaw with the movie is that it does feel directionless for a good amount of time, in that I feel like I knew where he was going on a character journey, but I also feel like we could have hit a few of the elements of that a little bit more on the nose throughout the narrative, so that as we start to close the narrative, it doesn't feel like we've been searching for the story. But this film does one thing very different from Frenzy, and that is, I said this during our review of Frenzy, the big thing that Frenzy was missing in its alcoholic protagonist is we never saw him when he wasn't an alcoholic. We did that with Trees Lounge. We got some flashbacks. We got some video footage. We got some, prior to the mess moments that makes us find Tommy to be a likable protagonist before the alcoholism.
I
And
agree.
it makes his journey a little bit more likable then, because we want him to quit.
And he's not, and he wants to, but it's like you said, there's certain events that have to happen for him, right?
Yep.
And it's never his, even with the engagement for all the other characters, it's never, I'm responsible. It's, you did this to me. Or you're not understanding me. There's a great, we'll get into his engagement with Debbie, which is inappropriate. But for him, he's trying to apologize to everybody. It was just frivolous fun. It's nothing serious.
Yeah.
Oh my God, guys.
It's completely serious, but you don't understand that, Yeah, like he can't put those, the big thing about alcoholism in this film is I think this is a 95-minute movie about if-then statements. And you said it well during the opening. If I get a job, then I'll quit drinking. A lot of people are like, if I can make it to New Year's, then I'll quit smoking. It's like, no, we're seeing that in the wrong direction. If you switch certain things, if I stop drinking, then I'll get a job. If I quit smoking, then I'll make it to New Year's. There's a lot of if-then statements that need reversal in life. And that's what the if-then statement here is. If he quits drinking, his life can improve immensely. Everyone around him is doing better.
But yes, and I agree with you that we're going to emphasize. But the other step is his delusion that he's divorced from all the other people that are alcoholics as well.
He's not like them.
I'm not like them. Well, he's pathetic. He's a pathetic drunk. I'm not like that. But I'm sitting at the bar drinking.
Yeah.
But that's sad. But I'm not doing that. But also, he's constantly self-sabotaging. He's self-sabotaging. And the great metaphor that he's a mechanic and his car does not work.
Yeah.
Why don't you address that first?
Well, again, if I fix my car, then I can maybe get a job as a mechanic.
Yeah.
No, it's if I get a job as a mechanic, I can afford to fix my car. And it's like the if-then confusion that Tommy is going throughout the film is one of those like, God, I want you to fix your life, but you're not going to, are you?
No, it's that detachment of responsibility, and that if the world just does what I want it to do, then we can go back to having a pleasurable life. There's a great scene. It's small, and I think it's the glue of the movie is after the bar closes. Carol Kane's in the movie. She plays a bartender. She does a wonderful performance of how little of what she has to do, but she does effective. But the bar closes, and her character Connie is going home. She's going to her car, and Tommy, even he lives upstairs, goes to her and goes like, "Hey, you want to go for breakfast or something?" And she turns to her, "You just don't quit, Tommy." And that is a little bit of a great staple, a little small scene of what alcoholics do. They cannot stop until they crash.
Yep.
And
The party can't quit.
The party can't quit. The feeling, the notion, let's keep it going. The bar's closed. Well, let's take the party home. Let's take these young girls home. And,
Anything I can do to keep myself from thinking about my problems.
Exactly.
Because that's a big thing, too. We've both known people who've struggled with drinking before. And that's something that constantly is the case.
Lost a good
it's like,
friend.
it's like the party can't end because then I have to sit and think about it. And I don't want to. So if I can find something to get, again, if I can find something to make me forget, then I'll enjoy my life a little bit more.
I do, because this is not a Saturday morning or Saturday evening with your friends kind of a movie. This is a really introspective insight. Steve Buscemi got inspiration from himself. He saw the trappings that he was going down this path, and he talked about it with Roger Ebert in an interview. He goes, "This is actually, a introspective about what the trappings that he was doing before he was an actor. That he, in the early 20s, he was working, but he would spend a lot of time at this bar."
Yeah, is that why his brother's in the movie playing his brother?
Right. Yeah.
The Buscemi brothers,
Yeah.
And what I think is fun is when you get a director who was an actor, who worked with a lot of other actors, you can really fill out that cast. Holy crap!
This is another good thing about the movie. Yeah.
This is like the Knives Out of the 90s, where like if this movie had been coming out during the age of Twitter, they would have been joking about all the actors joining the cast of Trees Lounge. And
I can believe if I got Daniel Baldwin.
Yeah, Daniel Baldwin, Mimi Rogers. I mean, Sam Jackson shows up, and I expected him to have somewhat of a role. He's there for a scene to kind of let us know again where the character's at, and then he's gone again. People just fill out the cast of this movie, and many of them for a scene, and then move on.
Yeah, because he comes into the bar just to have a drink.
Yeah.
But surrounded by alcoholics, and then he leaves. But you're like, well, he left. Well, he's a loser.
Yeah.
Where he just went in, just decompressed, and he's going out.
He's there to use alcohol for maybe, I don't want to say the right purpose, because right purpose is very destructive thing to say, but how Sam Jackson comes into the thing, he's looking to get a load off. He wants to drink. He wants to relax. He worked hard. He's I'm here to have my end of day relaxation.
And there's a disdain to alcoholics in the bar. There's a disdain for this. Yeah. I really wanted to see if Eugene O'Neill would love this movie. I think he would. The guy who wrote Iceman comments about the alcoholics and they wait for the Iceman to come.
Yeah.
But right, there's a certain detachment of your perception of how you see things. And it's like I said, it's not dreary. It's not depressing. There's some fun times at the bar.
The thing about it is that as a director, Buscemi is his camera, his direction is all Tommy. It's Tommy's point of view in a lot of ways. Because the camera even treats his interactions with Debbie as, hey, they're just hanging out. You know, like, the camera's never showcasing what's really horrible about that situation. And even when Daniel Baldwin shows up and beats the crap out of him, the camera is on his side in a lot of ways. It's like, oh,
Right.
don't hurt Steve. It's,
Right.
it's Tommy, man. We like him. Like, but we really shouldn't, because what he's doing is destructive to him and destructive to people around him. But he's making a movie through the lens of a character. The whole film feels light and fluffy, even though there's some incredibly dark things happening.
And it's a reflection to him because he wants to be younger. It's high school party time.
Yep.
For him.
Yeah, he relates to the situation
And that's
where
why
they're
he
making
relates
out.
to Debbie. Hey, we're just high school kids.
Yeah, we're just like high schoolers, and he's like, she is a high schooler, and he's like, I know, I was there.
I
Like,
know.
you know, like,
He doesn't get it.
You don't have to tell me, and it's like, I do have to tell you, and that's kind of the frustrating thing about it is that Tommy is destructive to himself, and he doesn't see it, but everybody else does. And we, again, knowing people that have struggled with alcoholism, they're just self-destructive, and they don't see what people around them see, and it's like, it makes you so mad watching him in this movie. Your fists get, punched together.
Okay, so rounding out the cast, we have Mark Bone Jr.
Yeah.
Really effective.
Without the hair.
Without the hair. But it's Tommy looking at, why are you at the bar drinking when you have a wonderful wife and family, but you're here with me drinking?
Yeah.
Well, you're still... Yeah.
Doing the same thing.
You're doing the same thing. But I like the character because... Tommy has disdain for him. Like, you're hanging out with these young girls, but you're married. Like, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, he tries to back him up, the wife in the ice cream scene. It's a great scene of, Mark Boone, back me up, buddy. But I'm not your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have these friends. These are not my friends, but you're hanging out with them.
Yeah.
Right.
Every character serves Tommy in the story, especially Mike, Mark Boone Jr., yeah.
Yeah. And Mike and Anthony... I always trip up on
Lapaglia.
it. Lapaglia.
Look at that guy.
Yeah. So he runs the Autopot, or the car shop. Year before, he runs the record store in Empire Records.
Yeah.
So he's
Struggling businesses all around.
But he was Tommy's boss in the movie, and
best friend, I think.
And best friend, but he had to fire him for poor performance, and he went and started dating Tommy's girlfriend, and now they're pregnant and they're starting their lives. And Tommy's beginning of the movie is not having a good time with that. This is why I have a tough time. I think the direction, right? It's the title of the movie is Trees Lounge. We think we're just going to spend a lot of time at the bar.
I thought it was a lot of people going to be coming and going to the bar.
Right, almost like Eugene O'Neill. We're just going to set up the bar.
Yeah, a one-set movie.
But here it's Tommy, and I think I'm even tough sailing even having the character's name as the title. Because how you could sell this as a comedy bit, and even the trailer is kind of deceiving because you think it's this snappy independent film of a good time.
Yeah, like a Clerks-esque kind of thing.
Very Clerks-esque, but that's how you sell independent films at the time. That is zippity zappity fun.
Well, and the funny thing about it is, so we have Anthony LaPaglia and Elizabeth Bracco, who I'm assuming is Lorraine Bracco's sister, because she was also on Sopranos and looks like her a little bit. So LaPaglia and Bracco play
If you can find out, let me know.
Yeah, he plays the best friend and the ex-girlfriend. They're moving forward, just like a well-oiled machine, like a car that's been fixed up at the body shop.
Yeah.
At the same time, Tommy's car
Is a wreck.
isn't moving.
No.
It's not moving forward. It's not moving backward. It's at a standstill outside the Trees Lounge. Oh, I wonder what that means. Like it's on the nose kind of
But
comparisons.
from
but
writing,
it's well done.
It's well done, right? It's good visual. Of
And not only that, but there's I think the best scene in the movie is one that people aren't going to talk about in terms of bestness, and it's when he pulls up to the one guy and he goes, "Hey, can you keep your foot on the gas while I run inside really quick?"
So I can have
Because the guy goes,
go to the bar.
yeah, but notice the vehicle is just like Tommy. If he takes his foot off the gas and doesn't keep pushing it forward,
Right.
it will stop.
Yeah.
And then it will be tough to get going again. That's Tommy's whole thing. Again, it's the party lifestyle of I can't quit partying or else I have to sit and stew. That's the car. That's Tommy. It's everything molded into one. It's a very clever thing. I wish he had spent more time with the car so we could have gotten that metaphor further projected.
Right. I think the scene with him, Carol Kane, at the bar closing, which is effective about his character, derives that's small.
Yep.
If you didn't pay attention, that's small, as well as that scene too. And I think that it's tough for a movie like this that the small stuff is far more effective than the big grandiose things that you see in the movie. The big things that you talk about, like him riding the ice cream truck and the awkwardness of Debbie and his getting on with his ex-girlfriend and stuff that is part of the plot, but the small stuff that's far more effective.
Like I thought about him and Debbie Mazar at the bar when he's trying to pick her up and he can't remember her name.
Debbie Mazar, yeah.
You know, and he's like trying to, like, he keeps, it's a C, it's a CR, it's a CR name, and he's trying to, like, think of her name, and it's like, you drunk piece of crap. Like, just go home, sleep it off, stop trying to pick up women that you can't even remember their names anymore, you know, like,
yeah.
It's that, the
delusional,
door of it all.
delusional that I'm so charming.
Yeah.
When you're not. You're right. You're not.
Yeah, you're embarrassing yourself, and you're embarrassing the rest of us. You know,
horrible, stupid bar trick that he thinks is just the funniest.
When he was doing that, I was like, I know this trick, and I couldn't remember what it was.
So
I was like watching, like excited to see what it was, knowing that it was something I'd seen before. I think it's a funny bar trick, but it's not in the hands of someone who has a problem.
No,
you know,
but it's Debbie Mazar with her fantastic eyes. Yeah. So right, it's wonderful casted. Got a lot of casting characters. They flow through life. It's a snippet of alcoholism. That's probably the most effective film addressing it, and well written for an alcoholic protagonist, because Steve Buscemi is part of his life. That it's not all that depressing. It's not all that fun, but it's that detachment of, I'll get my stuff in order if the world just quit messing with me.
Yeah.
Where you have to get your stuff in order.
One thing I thought about with this movie that would be kind of, I don't want to say fun, because that might be a weird term for using it, but Steve Buscemi, decades later now, still acting, still doing his thing, I would actually like to see him return to this character. Do a follow-up film, post-alcoholic, where he is kind of like kind of holding his chip, trying to kind of make it through. And the reason why I say that is because Steve Buscemi's life, like, tragic with things that took place with his alcoholism, you know, and him struggling and stuff like that earlier in his career, sure. But since this movie has come out, you know, I mean, he was a former firefighter. He assisted on 9/11. Like, he's got a lot of, like, major things that took place in his life that I think would almost serve really well to kind of have a dual side picture, a Trees Lounge follow-up. Maybe the bar is closing down and he's an alcoholic who's in recovery and he's thinking about, like, returning for one last drink. You know, something like that where you could really kind of play up the duality of his character over time. Because, again, I defend the fact that his character arc is failure. Even at the end of the film, he could.
But he doesn't see it that way.
Yeah, but even at the end of the film, he could make the right choice, and he still doesn't. I defend failure character arcs a lot, because I think they're fascinating. But I think his in this movie is just a little too directionless, and following up with something years later might be kind of fun.
That's a good option.
Yeah.
I like that. But we can talk about it a little bit deep about the ending, because the ending of the movie, Tommy takes over the position of Billy, the alcoholic's chair, and everybody is almost like, you're at this step. And Tommy, he's not going to sit and reflect on the problems of his life. It's almost like, I fit, now I got my role. This is where I belong, almost. And he accepts it. And I think for the first time, you actually sit and watch him drink. We don't see, I mean, he's sitting gulps in the movie.
Yeah, but he's drinking and doing nothing else.
At the end of the movie, you sit and actually see him drink. And quietly to himself. But he's not thinking about, well, how do I still my life? He's not sitting with a notepad and need to do this and this. He's sitting doing his favorite activity.
Yeah. The if-thens are officially gone. You know, now it's just now.
And I've taken over the position where everybody, Billy, is now gone, the drunk that we like, God damn it, Billy, you know, he's not doing very well, which is a good, I like another thing of what I like about the ending is, well, he's in the hospital. Well, we'll get there. We'll all finish our drinks. We'll go say hi to him. Yeah. But there's a void. And Tommy sees that, oh, I can fill that void. Billy's gone. I can take this position over.
Yeah. So that's what I think is really fascinating about it is, again, I really do like, let me dive in here. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones and you want it spoiled for you, so be it. I'm telling you right now. There's a character on Game of Thrones that has a similar kind of thing where this entire show he was getting beaten into the dirt, being told, like, you can change, you can go and switch to the good guys. And at the end of the show, second to last episode, he decides not to, and he abandons his character arc. And a lot of people looked at that character and said, oh, that's a bad character. No, because not every character arc leads to success. No. Sometimes we fail. You can spend 90 minutes being told not to drink, being taught not to drink, and you can still grab the drink. Yes. And I think that's the tragedy of the film, is that he is a failed character arc. And that's true.
You know? It's very Eugene O'Neill failed character. Yeah, where And we always said about writing, if you're searching for your authentic self. For him, this is his authentic self. Mm-hmm. And we always talk about when you go to talk about, and I try to help my friends with alcoholism, they tell you even though you stop drinking, you're still going to remain an alcoholic.
Yep. That's why they say it at the AA meetings.
You're never going to change
I am an alcoholic.
And even though you stop drinking, that's not going to go away. You're still an alcoholic. You're just not. You stop drinking. Mm-hmm. And this is Tommy saying, I am an alcoholic, but I'm not going to stop.
Yeah. He makes the choice.
It's authentic self.
Yep, it's just not the choice we want it to be.
And we know where the hurt is his girlfriend's abandoning him. Mm-hmm. And she's starting a family with somebody else. But yeah, we see the hurt, we see his authentic self. Good writing.
Yeah, it is. I again, going back to it, I feel that the second act is a bit directionless. I feel like we kind of meander about a little bit.
Yeah, I think you got a lot of inspiration from Tarantino, kind of just.
Yeah, it feels like it's attempting to be a bit of a hangout movie with a stronger message, which kind of cancel each other a little bit. So I wish that the hangout stuff was a little bit reserved and actually give us more of a character direction. Yeah, and the ice cream thing, like, it's an interesting subplot. I don't know if it really goes anywhere too heavy, in the total plot. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening that I wish could have been just a little bit more direction based. Yeah. But I enjoyed the film overall. I did. And I really love the character journey. I think Steve Buscemi is the kind of actor that I don't think he's got an Oscar yet, but he should have one. He should have more awards-worthy consideration because he does consistently great performances in dramas, in comedies, in action films. He is fantastic as an actor, and he's pretty solid as a director and writer, too.
Yeah, this movie came out at the same time Fargo did. It's a nice... You could watch this and see him.
Yeah.
After this movie, Fargo, everybody irritates the hell out of him, too.
Yeah. Kind of funny-looking guy.
Everybody irritates the hell out of him in the Fargo, too. Yeah. So, I recommend it. Yeah, Trees Lounge. Yeah. It's not like a Saturday night, get the friends over to watch kind of a movie, but I think it's for an introspective, for an independent film. If you're looking for a great one from the 90s, this is it.
Yeah, and it's especially, make sure you can find it while it's available, because it's made by some companies that aren't exactly making movies anymore, so make sure to watch it while you can, because it may disappear one day. But
that's the gimmick, because if you're not making movies on it, you want to pull the streaming, pull it off, so you kind of search.
Yep. Yep. So I found it on Canopy. So if you have a library card and your library offers Canopy, you can get free access to the movie. So go ahead and check that out as well.
It's on Pluto TV as well.
Yeah. So it's a bouncing kind of a movie. Find it while you get a chance and check it out. Because even though I think it's a little bit flawed in some areas, I do highly recommend the film because it still is a very engaging movie. Yeah. And we definitely recommend you check it out. Yeah. But you should also check out more episodes of Kyle and Nick on Film. We've got playlists over there. I think it's over there. It's one of these directions. Check out the playlists that we have available and watch more episodes of the show, and then let us know what we should talk about next down in the comments section. Let us know your thoughts on Trees Lounge. Are there other Steve Buscemi films in his filmography as a director that we should be looking at? Because I've never heard of most of them. So tell us if there's one that you really liked, and maybe we'll cover it on a future episode. And you can help ensure that we'll cover it on a future episode by joining the Patreon down below.
Patreon?
Yeah, check out that link. You can get access to Picks with Kyle and Nick, our exclusive Patreon content.
And you get to tell us what movies.
Pick stuff.
Like you said.
Tell us movies to watch. Yeah. We like watching them for you. And don't forget to like and subscribe as well. And once again, folks, you can find all my film reviews over at goatfilmreviews.com.
You can find my show at the St. Paul Filmcast anywhere you find podcasts.